Hi, my name is Jason Sherry. I'm a mechanical engineer here at MicroXact, and I'd like to show you the SPS 2600 probe station. I'm going to start you off how an individual who is just starting up the system would interface with it. First, we have our computer here that is actually responsible for controlling the slides and the camera, feeding all of this information to the user. We start off with our LabVIEW program. We set this to run, and it will move, and it's going to connect to the motorized slides that we're using, as well as setting up the system here. You can see it's now currently moving. We have a camera here that will feed us a high-definition video of what's currently happening, and it will then be able to show us the actual image that we see through this camera. While this is going on, a user can prepare their slides or move whatever they'd like to set up. This control box down here is responsible for ensuring that the temperature of our thermal chuck, which can go, in this particular instance, from 5 centigrade up to 80 centigrade. In other instances, we can go even down to cryogenic temperatures if you're interested in this particular process, or up to very high temperatures, up to 600 C or above. The user has now, in this side, has got the system ready. We can open up this here, which will allow us direct interface. By loosening the screw here, we're able to then open, tighten back, and then put a wafer onto this instance here. For this, we're using our standard test wafer that we have a wafer profile for. We are then going to take it and move this guy back in. You'll notice that it stops right here as a solid stop, so every time this alignment happens perfectly. We then close this back up, and we can move into our homing position. And we now have moved into a homing position where we're able to adjust the platen, as you'll see here, down or up. We'll move it up to get into the focus of the camera, and we will then be able to adjust this platen left or right. Through the microscope here, one would see whatever they're looking at. With our microscope and telescope assembly that we currently have here, this is a standard visual microscope that we are able to use just from looking through here, looking through the high-definition video. We are able to align our probes here and set up any particular configuration with the probes on a die of the wafer that we would like to see. We can then shift over to a second system. In this particular case, this assembly here was specified by a customer setup to then do any optical characterizations of their system that they would like to use. The system can then, once an individual die is aligned, go through and automatically test each subsequent die, and we'll be able to produce results and send them into a file that the user is then able to adjust and then get data from. Once we finish that process, we're able to then just tell the slide to go back to the load position, which it would do, and it will then move out and be ready to accept the new wafer.